Well, hey guys, good morning. What is going on out there? Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Another episode of 7 Around 7. Good Sunday morning to you. I'm out here in the West Coast, California desert, Southern California, Rancho Mirage, specifically Mission Hills Country Club. Looking forward to some doubles on the grass this morning. And guys, hope you're having a great day so far wherever you are, and either have already hit some tennis balls today or about to go out and do so. One thing we talked about recently was the importance of early prep, right? Early racket prep. And I think that one thing that is that I need to caution you of, and it's easy to do that. So if you really focus on, a really quick shoulder turn, could be forehand, could be backhand, could be return to serve, could be a rally ball, could be a passing shot opportunity, whatever the situation is that if you find yourself getting turned and prepped and spaced super early, and that if you are completely committed to the shot choice that was your initial instinct, let's call it right up the middle of the court, or let's call it, let's just start with right at the middle of the court. Too often what can happen is you can feel I'm early so ready and I'm convicted so much to this shot choice that you end up overcooking it. You end up going, with bringing in too much racket speed because you feel so prepped so early. I remember when I was first working with Tom Stowe back in the day, and he had back then an assistant pro at the Berkeley Tennis Club. And this was, so when I worked with Tom, Tom had already left the Berkeley Tennis Club, was up in Napa, and he was at the Silverado Country Club for a while, and then he finally retired from there. And you've heard this story, I'm sure, several times when I talked about the three other guys that I worked with. So we had Mr. Stowe. It was literally on either, I think it was junior high school courts up there in Napa. But we'd get him every Wednesday morning from 9 to 12. And so I would say for the first 6 months when I was with Mr. Stowe, that was one of the things that we really worked on. And it was just being prepped early and just being convicted to shot choice and all that kind of stuff. And so he had, when he was at Berkeley, which had been decades prior, he had an assistant pro there, Bill Crosby, right? Not the entertainer Bill Cosby, but Bill Crosby. And Bill Crosby was a heck of a player in his day. I mean, he and Bobby Perez had some incredible wins. They were ranked, I think maybe 1 or 2 in the nation in doubles. I want to say right around the late 50s, maybe early 60s. But I remember one day I was out there and was really working on the stroke technique. This was the Berkeley Tennis Club, and Bill was still a member there, and I'm scorching balls all over the place, right? I mean, the zip code could not keep my shots in the court, even though, I'd had about 6 months with Mr. Stowe. And so he just walked by me one day. He just sort of, and I just was frustrated. And I said, Bill, what do I need to do here? And he was so complimentary. He said, you've really worked hard. You've really got a different look. It looks like you've got all the Stowe foundation. And there's only 2 things really that you need to do now. And I'm just going, God, man, give me those 2 things. What are they? And he said, number 1, you got to get into what he called the hitting position ASAP, immediately, which is exactly what we talked about, a few days ago. You've got to get into that early shoulder prep, full shoulder turn commitment as soon as you can, right? So that you feel like you've got a little bit of time before you go ahead and start the swing. So that was thing 1, right? And then thing 2 was just decide where you're going to play your shot, right? So early prep, and then decide, where am I going to play this shot? And for me, what I got from that was number 1, obviously the early prep, but was also kind of the conviction that my initial shot choice was, right? And the total commitment to it, and then not go through that. I think we've talked about this, go through the laundry list of where now all of a sudden, hey, I'm prepped early and I've gone with my initial shot choice instinct, but man, there's about 2 or 3 other shots I could hit. And rather than deciding or not trusting your initial shot choice, right, you try something at the end and you're not really prepped to do it. You just don't have the confidence to do it. But one of the things I had to kind of rein in, I had to pull back on, is I was getting prepped early and I had this conviction of the shot choice where I was going to play it. But man, I just felt like I really want to ding it. I really want to go after this shot. And too often what would happen is I just overcook it, bring in too much racket speed. And, once in a great while, sure, rip a winner. But for the most part, no, it would be an unforced error. And you talk about super frustration. You've done everything you're supposed to do. You've prepped early. You've got the right spacing. You've committed early to your shot choice. You're absolutely 100% convicted to that shot choice. And then you bring in too much racket speed. So what I want you to be thinking about is, obviously, number one, you got to get turned and prepped early. You got to get the right spatial distance away from the path of the ball. You've got to stay convicted, right, to your shot choice. But you've also got to start to recognize, what is a realistic swing speed for you that you can be super consistent with? Again, I'm not talking about pushing, but I'm talking about a full swing speed, right, from your early racket prep through the ball and out to whatever your finish is, and know what that swing speed is. I mean, you could get out there with someone, racket feeding you some balls from just the other side of the net, and you could go, well, this is too fast, this is too slow, this is in between the two, right? And one of the things that Mr. Stowe did is he sort of kind of got in our heads that you can swing relatively slow, meaning maybe relatively not fast. But if you've got the right spatial distance away from the path of the ball, if you've got the right point of contact for you, your unique point of contact, and if you continue on balance, good posture through the ball out towards the target, that you don't need a ton of racket speed to be able to hit a really high quality shot and be able to do so consistently. So you've got to get in better touch with racket speed and what's too fast for you, maybe what's too slow, and really what's right there in the middle, that you're still hitting high quality stuff without making unforced errors. So there you have it. Hope you took some notes today. Important stuff, right? Hey, Rich, good morning to you as well. Need good posture. Going to work on this against the great Bruno. All right, at Berkeley Tennis Club this morning. Yeah, Rich, I know you work a lot with our good buddy Jeff Jacklich, and one of the things that he just continues to emphasize is you got to swing from a stable platform, right? And I think too often, once we're prepped early and then we're convicted to our shot choice, direction, and height over the net, and all that kind of stuff, is we tend to get a little bit ahead of ourselves, right? We want the ball over there a little bit sooner than what our posture dictates. And so you've got to get that feeling that you're on balance and that you've got good posture and that you receive the ball at your unique point of contact, as opposed to reaching out a little bit too early, right? So hope this has helped, guys. All right, well, look, would love to hear from you, right? Want to read your comments or questions down below. And anything else that's going on in your mind, what are you working on with your game recently? Would love to see it. You can either do that down below in the comments area. You can direct message me at Facebook or shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Love to read your stuff, and I promise to respond. Guys, that's it for me today, man. Have a great Sunday on the tennis court. And as always, you have to get out there, help another human have a great day. Guys, I will see you again next time.